Hi everyone, it's me. So today I wanted to share my experiences on what it was like flying internationally from Canada to the UK in the middle of a pandemic. I hope you'll join me. Now, I have been getting a lot of questions about what it was like, so I thought let's do a video, talk about what I did, what I wish I had done, what it was like, what do you have to do, what do you not do, you know, the usual. So without further ado, let's go. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alanna and I was temporarily living at home in Ontario, Canada, waiting for my UK visa to come back to the UK, which was approved. God bless. I then flew from Toronto Pearson Airport all the way to London Gatwick. Can I just say, those are two really nice airports. I'm very privileged to have been to a lot of airports, and Toronto Pearson and London Gatwick are good airports. Okay, I just wanted to say that, okay? This is not sponsored by any airport or airline, but can you imagine? So obviously the biggest difference when flying during a pandemic is you have to wear a mask at all times once you enter the airport. So for me, once I entered Toronto Airport, I had to have a mask on the whole time unless I was going to be eating or drinking, and even then they really want you to put your mask on quickly. I had to wear the mask for the entire flight, and then for the entire customs, baggage, all that kind of stuff at Gatwick, and I could only really take it off once I was like in the car on my way home. So it was a long day in a mask. My heart goes out to everyone who is working right now who has to wear a mask all day. I see you, I feel you. What you do is amazing. Now, a little tip if you don't mind, I brought 2 different types of masks, and I would recommend that if you're going to be traveling. There's nothing worse than getting stuck wearing one mask and it gets gross and you've had it on for like 8 hours and you're like, wow, I really wish I had a fresh mask. Bring 2. So I had a disposable one, which are kind of stretchy, but they're way more light, like they're less sweaty. But I also brought a cotton mask. I didn't make this, I bought it. I tried making masks on my Patreon account and it was an absolute disaster. I'm not even going to show you a clip from that video because it's too embarrassing. So I had one of these and I had one of these, and once this one, I had worn it for a couple of hours, it was getting sweaty, it was getting gross. I took this one off and I wore this for the rest of the flight. I think it's just helpful if you are traveling to have more than one mask. Even if you only have these masks, at least bring a couple, because then it's nice to just sort of like, I don't know, put a fresh mask on. The times that we live in, my friends. I'm over here, which means we're going to talk about something else just for like 5 seconds. Please don't close this video. If you want to watch more of my content or support me in a different way, please check out my Patreon, okay? I post videos there every week plus other content, and you're missing out on fun stuff like this. What are we doing? We're playing with bleach. Don't try this at home. I post a video there every week and I've been doing so for like 2 years, which means when you join, you can go back and watch every video I have ever posted on Patreon, which is well over 100. I hope you like them. Patreon is a really great way to support me, plus you get extra content, alright? If you don't want to join, that's totally cool. I get it. Let's get back to the video. Now, when I arrived at Toronto, I had my mask on. I went through security. It was so fast because there is nobody there. There's a very select few types of people who are traveling right now. Those who are moving abroad on a visa are one of them, and there's not that many of us. So the security was very light. So I get through security in a record, I don't know, 3 minutes, which is fabulous. I then make my way to my gate. So Pearson, you know your gate right from the beginning, so you can go hang out there if you want. So I went to my gate. They have these really nice table things in Pearson where there's a bunch of chairs and everyone has like these little iPad thingies, tablets. So you could use it if you wanted. They're kind of gross, I wouldn't, but there's so many like USB plugs or power outlet plugs. So literally I arrived almost a full 3 hours early. So while I was waiting, I sat at one of these desks. I had my laptop, obviously, so I plugged that in so it was charging. I plugged in my phone so that was charging, and I played The Sims. Yes, it's true. So I sat there in my sweaty mask with all my luggage, and I played Sims for almost 3 hours while I waited for my flight. You know what? I'm never gonna see those people again, so it's alright. It's fine. Plus, the time went by really fast. Now, one thing that is extremely important, especially if you are flying to the UK, is the UK Gov website has a form that you have to fill out relating to COVID-19, obviously, and tracking you and your time in quarantine. So, I had a lot of really wonderful messages from people saying, hey, you're back in England, make sure you get to the pub, get a pint at the pub, blah, blah, blah. I can't. The government said, no, honey, no. Not for 14 days. So I am in quarantine. I am Canadian. Canadians have to quarantine. So I am in quarantine for 2 weeks. Can't go anywhere. It's a little bit tricky, but it is what it is. I am not rushing out to the pubs anyway. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people are still getting sick. And I don't really want to get sick. And I don't really want to make other people sick. So I'm not really rushing out to the pubs. I got plenty of alcohol at home, so we're totally fine. But yes, I am in quarantine. So back to my original thought, because that was a bit of a tangent. You have to fill out a form online on the UK Gov website. So for me, I did it while I was waiting at my gate. You can only do it 48 hours before you travel, so it's not like something you can do really far in advance. But I just did it on my phone. It was actually very simple, and it asks for all the obvious information like your name, your phone number, where are you going to be staying, emergency contact number of somebody else, what is their relation to you, their phone number, are you sick, have you been sick, have you been near somebody who's been sick, like all the obvious stuff. So it is really important that you fill out that form, and you have to have evidence of that when you get to customs in the UK. So either print it out, you get like a QR code and like a confirmation page, or save it onto your phone, which is what I did, and you'll have to show somebody, okay? But just make sure you do it, because there is a large fine if you do not, and the government wants to make sure that you are in quarantine. They do check up on people. I'm sure it's a very small percentage of people actually in quarantine that get checked up on, but there's always that risk, right? So I'm not gonna risk it. Now, there was one thing that was a new experience for me. I'm very lucky to travel a lot, and I travel between the UK and Canada a lot, obviously, because I live in the UK, but I'm Canadian, my family's in Canada, so I go between the two quite a lot. I feel like I've gotten that flight down to an absolute science. However, I experienced something new this time. So let me just demonstrate, okay? Let me demonstrate what I mean. So here we go. You're on the flight and you're wearing your mask, right? Ugh, it goes in my eyes. Okay, can you hear me? I hope so. So, you got your mask on. Now, when I fly, I wear my big sound canceling, noise canceling headphones. They're an absolute godsend. I 100% recommend them if you travel a lot, because it cuts out lightheaded. Cuts out all the plane noise and the screaming children, and yes, there was a screaming child, so I 100% use these. However, also when I sleep on a plane, I like to wear an eye mask. This isn't the one I used to travel, I couldn't find it, but it's an eye mask, okay, so just bear with me. So what you do, you got your mask on, you got your eye mask on, right? And then you got your headphones on, right? And let me tell you, it feels like you're dying. I genuinely feel like I'm getting suffocated. It's like all my sensories are plugged. Normally, it's not that big of a deal when you don't have a mask on. So I'd be like this, right? I get my eye mask, I got my headphones, leave me for the entire flight, don't even wake me up for the food, I'm fine. But with the added mask, honest to God, you can go ahead and try this at home if you're bored, by all means. Maybe don't try it at home, because it really does feel like you're dying. Your nose and your mouth are covered, your eyes are covered, your ears are covered. And I can only really do this for just a couple of minutes before I start feeling not good. So, basically I had to decide what do I lose? I have to have the face mask on, right? So I either lose these or I lose these. These are a million times more important because it really does cut the sound of the aircraft and the people and everything. So I kept these on, and I just kind of put my eye mask a little bit above my eyes. So it kind of shielded some of the light, but my eyes could still open. It was just a really weird experience. I mean, this is very stylish, as you can see, right? Real stylish. I'm like a goddamn model right now. But it was just a really weird experience. I'm probably shouting because I can't hear myself. Sorry. It was a really weird experience. And it's definitely something to keep in mind the next time I travel. If I have to travel with a face mask, which I'm assuming we will for quite a while. The 3 combination, not nice. Makes me feel like I'm dying. So, no thank you. You know one thing that I kind of forgot about? The sun coming through and making all this pattern. Yay! Go ahead and just ignore it. I need to figure out a better filming setup. So I hope you don't mind. Bear with me. These are gonna look professional real soon, I promise. Okay, so back to the flight. You are served food, at least on my flight, that is in a pre-packaged little box. It's not the usual, you know, do you want chicken? Do you want pasta? Do you want rice or do you want pasta? Like that sort of thing. Nah, everybody, it's either do you want the food or do you want the vegetarian option? And I got a really sad little roll with like liquefied chicken paste on it, which was quite upsetting. However, they did give us full-size Kit Kat bars. You heard it. That's true. Yep. Not a word of a lie. Full Kit Kat. I ate it immediately and felt sick. So you do get some food. They're trying their best. All right. There's only so much they can do. The roll was very upsetting, but the Kit Kat was a wonderful little surprise. Now, when you arrive to the UK, they typically, if you're going to a big airport, will have sort of the classic customs area with the really scary customs agents, or they have like the e-gates, which kind of remind me of like train station gates where you scan your passport and you look at a camera and then the gates open and you go through, and that's it, which is awesome. However, if you are like me and you are arriving to the UK on a visa for the first time, so it's just the first time, you have a temporary sticker in your passport, you do not go through those e-gates, okay? People might even tell you, you have to go through the e-gates. Say, no, I need to see a real person, scary customs agent. So I got in line. Thankfully, there was one person in front of me. There was hardly anybody traveling. Honestly, it was incredible. So then I go up to the customs person. I say that I'm arriving on a visa for the first time. I have a little piece of paper that also says that. She does some things that I don't know what they do, but they do something. And it's kind of like activating my visa in a way, because if I were to go through the e-gates, it probably would read me as a tourist, right? But I need someone to say, no, actually I'm arriving as a resident, whatever. She does her little business, and she also had to see the QR code from my COVID form thing that I did. So I showed her that on my phone. She scanned it, and then that was it. It lasted all of like 60 seconds. So then I get picked up at the airport and I am so tired. I feel like I could throw up and pass out at the same time. I did not sleep on that flight, not a wink. But if you've been following my journey here on YouTube, you know that I have been away from the UK for almost 7 months. And so coming into Gatwick and collecting my bags and getting picked up was just like, it was kind of like an out-of-body experience. It hasn't even really sunk in yet for me. I'm still very much jet lagged. It's been a whirlwind. But once I got home, I started my 14-day quarantine, which is really not a big deal for me. I like to be at home and I missed my home. So I'm happy to be in quarantine. And then once those 14 days are up, I have to pick up a card that basically shows that I am on a visa and I'm allowed to be here. and all that fun jazz. So I can't pick that up right now because obviously in quarantine, but once that's done, I can go to the post office, I can pick it up, and then I am good to go. So that is what it was like traveling from Canada to the UK in the middle of a pandemic. Honestly, it was pretty painless. The airlines and the airport staff and everybody are just trying to do their best. So please be kind. Please wear your damn mask, all right? Bring a couple. Okay, so when one gets gross and sweaty, you got another backup, okay? But overall, it was pretty painless. The only annoying thing is wearing the mask, but there is no getting around that. Sorry, it's just not gonna happen. You just gotta wear it. Either wear it or you don't travel, okay? It's up to you. And another nice thing was my flight was probably half full. I was an aisle seat. Side note, always go for the aisle seat. It's the best seat. You heard it here first. So I was in the aisle seat, there was an empty seat, and then there was a guy on the window. There was nobody in front of me, and in the row behind me, it was the same. There's a guy on the aisle, no seat, guy on the window. So there's probably half the flight empty, which was really nice. So it was very spaced out. There was lots of room for your luggage, like overhead. You know how I used to like fight for that? That wasn't really a thing. So overall, very simple. It's a little bit stressful because, you know, getting sick is scary. Like I'm not going to do a rant, but I think some people just aren't worried anymore. They're just bored. And I think we should probably still be worried and we should still be safe. And if you don't need to travel, don't. I had to travel. I'm back home now. I am in quarantine. Fingers crossed I don't get sick. So that might be a video in itself, but I'm doing okay so far. Now on a side note, an unrelated note, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who watched my visa result video and left such kind comments. Honestly, I cried filming that video. I cried when I had to edit that video, and then I cried going through everybody's comments. They are so kind and thoughtful, and I know we don't know each other, but I could feel all the love and support through the internet from strangers from wherever in the world you are, which is a really, really cool feeling. And I just want to say thank you so much. I'm a little bit jet lagged and a little bit, you know, still emotional, but I'm really excited to start filming again. I mean, I never stopped filming, but I'm really excited to film UK content. And once it is safe to do so, I hope to get out and film some stuff for you guys and do taste test videos and drink test videos now that I can actually get British food and drink, which is really exciting. So I hope that you guys stick around, but I did just want to say a huge thank you. Anyway, side rant over. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for your kind words and your support. I really appreciate it. I really do, okay? Do you know that? I do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!